Well, she calls it the biggest crack in the glass ceiling yet.
Hillary Clinton is now the first woman ever nominated by a major political party.
If there are any little girls out there who stayed up late to watch, let me just say, I may become the first woman president, but one of you is next.
Clinton marked the historical night in Philadelphia with a brief message to delegates at the Democratic National Convention. And tonight we will hear from her running mate Tim Kaine and the man whose job she wants, President Barack Obama.
Pat Kessler's here. Pat, before we do a preview, let's review. And Bill Clinton was up there last night, former president.
And Hillary Clinton getting the nomination, very big deal, of course. It's been 16 years, though, since Bill Clinton left office. And he is still among the most popular politicians in America. A lot of people call Clinton the Democratic explainer-in-chief. Last night, he explained to American voters why his wife should be president, despite all the bad stuff they heard about Hillary at the Republican convention last week.
How does this square with the things that you heard at the Republican convention? What's the difference in what I told you and what they said? How do you square it? You can't. One is real, the other is made up.
Well, President Clinton used his convention address to make a case that Hillary Clinton is the real change agent and not Donald Trump, even though she's been in public life and elected office for the last 40 years. So that's a tough, counterintuitive case to make, but that's what President Clinton did last night, and I think that's what the Democrats are going to try to do for the next couple of months, too.
Well, you mentioned Donald Trump, and, you know, it's so interesting because, I mean, he took over, commandeered the news cycle again today. Yeah, it
is really amazing. He owns this news cycle right now. Had a press conference today in which he said, among other things, that President Obama is the most ignorant president we've ever had in the United States. He said the U.S. is ready for a woman president, but not Hillary Clinton. And then he made really remarkable comments about Russia hacking emails and maybe suggesting they should find Hillary Clinton's emails.
But it would be interesting to see. I will tell you this. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
Well, a lot of political clucking today over Trump's remarks, which appear to encourage espionage by the Russians, something his campaign is trying to walk back tonight. Trump has what appears to be a really clear strategy to be a big part of the Democratic convention proceedings. In a way, the Democrats last week were not part of the Republican convention. And this is something he's really, really good at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, taking over the news cycle. We're not talking about Hillary Clinton or President Bill Clinton today. We're talking about Donald Trump.
You and I said this before. He's been in the news cycle since the very beginning.
It's amazing.
It is, isn't
day
it?
after day after day. It's remarkable what he's done.
So what is on tap for tonight?
Tonight we have the vice presidential nominee, Tim Kaine. He'll be addressing the convention. Also, President Obama will be speaking, endorsing Hillary Clinton. We're very curious to know what he is going to say. Excerpts of his remarks seem to suggest that he's going to be kind of telling people everything's going to be okay. Well, this is what we aspire to. But a lot of people wondering if he's going to go after Donald Trump, because I think, guys, this is personal with Donald Trump and President Obama. Remember, Trump was the guy who really took the birther movement and made it very, very big, questioning Obama's legitimacy to even be president.
Well, and calling him ignorant today, maybe that pushes things over the edge. Who knows?
Yeah, so we'll be watching all of that tonight.
To
So President Obama tonight speaking.
Okay,
right.
You'll be here at 10?
We will.
Good.
Thanks, Pat.